They need those sensors to stay on and alive in the body and report properly. So what they do is they are going to go ahead and energy harvest directly out of the human red blood cells, the heartbeat, and all the natural biomimetics of the human body, and they are going to use that to keep their sensors going. LoRa is one of their favorite protocols for that. We need to educate people that the wireless body area network has energy harvesting capability. It is absolutely for information surveillance and reconnaissance command and control. It's not going away. It's not a disease. You can't cleanse it out of your body because they have human recognition radar. They are watching your body for a long list of reasons, and none of them have legal action that any of us has access to. So we have to be honest about these systems, who they belong to, who is the end user on things like your wireless body area network, WBAN for healthcare.
So we come back here to this image. Do you remember we talked about energy harvesting nanonodes? We have energy harvesting nanonodes if we need them. We have software-defined based body area network node. So as you can see here, they just wake up that node with the smart dust on the outside of you, for example, or a signal coming from maybe outside your house or another body. These are optogenetic networks. They don't need a chip in your head. They use optogenetics. They use light. It's part of neuroscience. They already have the optogenetic network, such as optical fiber, silicone chips, wavelength division multiplexing. You don't know what that is, right? But the computer networking people do. So let's start by Googling optogenetics. Optogenetics is a biological technique to control the activity of neurons or other cell types with light.
Optogenetics appears to be the final frontier in brain behavior control and modification. It's biophotonics, spectrography, optical coherence, optoarray, all done via electronic warfare. It's biosensors reflecting back like little mirrors or lenses throughout your body to be read, monitored, adjusted, and controlled with optics and light. There are even optical tweezers to affect cymatics. They can manipulate you via LED lights in your home, car, and/or work.
We're back here with ResearchGate, and we're going to read light-driven molecular motors embedded in covalent organic frameworks. The incorporation of molecular machines into the backbone of porous framework structures will facilitate nanoactuation, enhance molecular transport, and other out-of-equilibrium host-gas phenomenon and well-defined 3D solid materials. In this work, we detail the synthesis of a diamine-based, light-driven molecular motor and its incorporation into a series of imine-based polymers and covalent organic frameworks. We study structural and dynamic properties of the molecular building blocks and derived self-assembled solids with a series of spectroscopic, diffraction, and theoretical methods. Using an acid-catalyzed synthesis approach, we are able to obtain the first crystalline 2D covalent organic frameworks with stacked hexagonal layers that contain 20 mol% molecular motors. The covalent organic frameworks features a specific pore volume and surface area of up to 0.45 centimeters cubed G-1 and 604 meters squared G-1, respectively. Given the molecular structure and bulkiness of a diamine motor, we study the supramolecular assembly of the covalent organic frameworks layers and detail stacking disorders between adjacent layers. We finally probe the motor dynamics within C2 spectroscopic techniques, revealing current limitations in the analysis of these new materials, and derive important analysis and design criteria, as well as synthetic access to new generations of motorized porous framework materials. Now we're going to go over here and look at this image. The body-coupled power transmission and ambient energy harvesting method. Again, energy harvesting method. An illustration of the concept, including potential energy sources, potential applications, and the power transmission/energy harvesting medium channel. Red arrows show examples of the power transmission paths across the human body. Blue arrows show the ambient EM waves coupled onto the human body. The power transmitter, active source, and receiver/harvester placements are shown at a few possible locations for illustration purposes. Now we're going to Google energy harvesting W-band. And we're going to click on the Science Direct website. Energy harvesting based W-bands, EH, optimization methods. Wireless body sensor networks are a special case of wireless sensor networks developed to operate at the human body scale. Thus, energy efficiency is one of the major aspects that must be taken into consideration before designing any W-band solution, because the change of batteries could be very difficult, especially when sensors are implanted inside the human body. For this reason, several research projects have been carried out on the adoption of energy harvesting schemes that aim to collect energy from several sources surrounding the human body, such as sun, body warmth, movements, heartbeat, radio frequency radiation, and transform it into an electrical energy to power the nodes of a W-band. Nevertheless, this harvested energy must also be better exploited, given the temporal variation nature of these alternative sources. The purpose of this paper is to present a general overview of energy harvesting schemes, as well as methods in literature focusing on optimizing the exploitation of the harvested energy in a W-band through MAC, routing, or physical layer protocols. The recent technological advances in electronics and short-range wireless communications have led to the development of miniaturized wireless sensors that can be worn on or even implanted inside the human body to serve a multitude of applications operating at the human body scale, which can be categorized into medical and non-medical applications. Figure 1 shows a set of medical and non-medical W-band applications. In the medical area, W-bands can be adopted to serve several applications, including remote patient monitoring, patient rehabilitation, biofeedback, and assisted living. In non-medical W-band applications, users are the target population, and the biological information can be used for entertainment, security, and self-quantization purposes, such as fitness, performance, and well-being monitoring, cognitive biometrics, and serious games. Nodes and W-bands are generally self-powered with integrated batteries, which makes energy efficiency one of the major requirements in such networks. Thus, shifting interest to energy harvesting schemes is highly recommended in order to achieve an energy-neutral operation, W-band, that can be powered only by clean and available energy sources such as body motion, warmth, or sunlight, to name a few. However, the variable and time-depending nature of these ambient energy sources must be taken into account in designing MAC, physical layer, and routing protocols to better exploit the harvested energy in W-bands. To the best of our knowledge, a study of protocols optimizing the energy harvested in W-bands at the MAC, physical, and routing level is not yet presented in the literature. Therefore, the purpose of this paper is to present a state-of-the-art of the important studies that have been carried out to optimize the exploitation of energy harvested and energy harvested based W-bands at the MAC, physical, and routing layers. The remainder of this paper is organized as follows. Section 2, the main energy harvesting methods in W-bands are presented. We propose in Section 3 a state-of-the-art of research works optimizing the exploitation of the harvested energy in W-bands. And Section 4 concludes the paper. So here are our energy harvesting methods in W-bands. Energy harvesting techniques in W-bands consists of transforming the ambient energy sources into an electrical signal using energy harvesters, such as piezoelectric transducers, which transform mechanical activity into an electrical signal, thermoelectric elements, which transform body heat into an electrical signal, photovoltaic cells, which transform light into an electrical signal, or antennas, which transform radio frequency radiation into an electrical signal. The energy sources could be light energy, such as solar energy, vibration energy, radio frequency energy, thermal energy, or blood pressure energy. So, the energy harvesting that's coming directly out of your body is not only extreme and pre-planned, but our body area nano networks consist of integrated machines. The reason I don't believe in shedding is because we exchange neurons fluidically. Now we're going to go over here on Science Direct and read on the design of an energy harvesting protocol stack for body area nano networks. Body area nano networks consist of integrated nano machines diffused in the human body for collecting diagnostic information and tuning medical treatments. Endowed with communication capabilities, such nanometric devices can interact with each other and the external, micro/macro world, thus enabling advanced healthcare services, for example, therapeutic, monitoring, sensing, and telemedicine tasks. Due to limited computational and communication capabilities of nano devices, as well as their scarce energy availability, the design of powerful bandit systems represents a very challenging research activity for upcoming years. Starting from the most significant and recent findings of the research community, this work provides a further step ahead by proposing a hierarchical network architecture. Stop! Network architecture. This is computer networking through the human body. Now let's scroll down to the introduction. In upcoming years, the innovation process triggered by nanotechnologies is expected to foster the development of integrated devices with size ranging from 1 to a few hundred of nanometers, very well suited for ICT, biomedical, industrial, and military applications. This is sustaining the revolutionary transition from the Internet of Things to the Internet of Nanothings. Revolutionary transition because we have optogenetic networks with molecular communication networks that do not need to use your radio frequency. They can, but they don't need it. Now, let's look at optical coherence tomography, because people don't even know that optogenetics is being utilized to do all this looking through people. We're going to Google optical coherence tomography. And we're going to click on the Wikipedia page. Optical coherence tomography is an imaging technique that uses interferometry. What is interferometry? Let's click on it. So anytime you can bounce an electrical signal back and forth between detectors and mirrors, they can manipulate the mathematics to see physically whatever they want. Interferometry is a technique which uses the interference of superimposed waves to extract information. Literally, what we just said. Interferometry typically uses electromagnetic waves and is an important investigative technique in fields of astronomy, fiber optics, engineering metrology, optical metrology, oceanography, seismology, for those that deny that they can control the earthquakes as easy as they control the weather, spectroscopy and its applications to chemistry, quantum mechanics, nuclear and particle physics, plasma physics, biomolecular interactions, which is molecular communication, surface profiling, microfluidics, mechanical stress/strain measurement. That's your piezoelectric with your bones versus the velocity of your bloodstream, velocimetry, optometry, and making holograms. They have all this going on so that you can't interfere and no other signals can interfere with what they are firing, measuring, you're looking at. Otherwise, there would be so much interference, they wouldn't know what they are seeing. Now we're going to go back and continue reading. Optical coherence tomography is an imaging technique that uses interferometry with short coherence length. So, in physics, coherence length is the propagation distance over which a coherent wave, like an electromagnetic wave, maintains a specified degree of coherence. Wave interference is strong when the paths taken by all of the interfering waves differ by less than the coherence length. You see, it's math on steroids, using your wireless all around your head to change out what they see and how they see it. So as we just discussed, they're using optogenetics, which means they're using light. So if you think about that, how can we avoid light? Everywhere we go in your car, using your cell phone, using any electronic device, a lot of fridges even have the little tablets now on the front of the fridge. Just any type of light. There's LED lights in every single house. There's LED lights obviously in offices, buildings, works, malls. So it's very easy to now be able to control and manipulate people. It doesn't take much.
And I noticed in Orlando, they replaced a lot of the lights on the highway to the blue lights.
You guys have the purple lights there?
Like a lot of the purple lights. Like there's this one highway, it's at least 70% were changed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's going to be for their 15-minute city, their cognitive cities. Because they're literally controlling and manipulating us using light.
Yeah.
So the vaccine only makes you a stronger antenna, but it doesn't, just because we're not vaccinated doesn't mean we're not on the system. We're just as much part of the system as everyone else is. We just have a little bit more control over our consciousness and the choices that we want to make. Like there unfortunately are people that are vaccinated and can't even read paperwork. And that right there is a barrier that was put because they can't even read in the only language that they speak. And that's on purpose because they don't want them to have any type of education, any type of conscious awareness of what is happening, right?